I'm curious because you guys are often described as sort of post-punk music, but do you guys have a way that you describe the Donzii sound?
Yeah, I think it has funky elements like funky bass lines, sometimes backbeats, but it's also it can be dancey. It can have like poppy synth lines as well. Sometimes the vocal hooks can be really like catchy and poppy. Sometimes they're a little bit more like atonal and weird. We kind of try a bunch of different things. I think we just do what we that's been our process so far. We've just been kind of like putting out whatever comes to mind, and we all listen to a lot of different music, and that's just kind of what we do. I know it's maybe not the most marketable method, but it's it's what we do.
Along those lines, then, who are some of the music artists that influenced you?
Sure. I think we love Lizzie Mercier. We love Joy Division, um, Susie and the Banshees. I love Cleaners from Venus, Cocteau Twins, Aphex Twin, another twin, um, Autechre, and there's so many. Skinny Puppy.
I'm sure you could go on for quite a while because there's so many different elements to all the music you make.
Yes.
Talk about the story behind your song On the Inside and where this came from.
Sure. So that song is actually also it's different from a lot of the songs in our catalog, which I guess is like normal for us. But it's also like a little stylistically different, and that is because we worked with a producer, George Elbrecht, on this song. So I think it's really influenced by I mean, he wrote most of it, so it's obviously more influenced by his style and likes and whatever. He's a LA based producer. Um, I met him in Miami. He's an amazing artist himself, and he mixes music for all kinds of people, um, famous and not famous. Uh, and the track, yeah, we just wrote it. He showed us. I think it was at the time it had like a drum beat and like keyboard bass line, and it had like the general structure where it kind of like elevates to this big kind of like explosion sound. And we're like, this is awesome. Like, and he was like, yeah, I wanted to make something that you guys could really like have fun performing. So that's it. And the lyrics just kind of came naturally. I just did something that I felt like fit with the flow of the sound. You know, it wasn't so much like I wrote the lyrics first situation. And then I was
That's
really
a
trying to fit his sound.
That's a perfect transition to my next question is what is your songwriting process? It sounds like you don't always have to have lyrics before or you can craft anything or have music necessarily at the same time. And does it change every time you write a song?
It does. It changes. Sometimes we have a guitarist who's like our main guy, but he lives in Miami. We just moved to LA in August, and when he's around, we would write songs with him. Like we just kind of jam, and a song would be born. But other times it'll be just me and Dennis, and he kind of makes like a drum machine um rhythm, and then we'll mess around with bass and guitar, and then maybe layer some lyrics on after that. Sometimes it'll take me a couple weeks to perfect the lyrics. Like I'll have to come back to it and think about it, but sometimes they just come out and we just like it just like that. Just kind of like I don't want to say freestyle because I definitely like I work on it while we're writing it in that time frame. But like for the most part, it's not, like a super meditated composition. It goes between though, different.
And is this a prelude to an upcoming EP or a full album by chance?
Yes, we're going to release I think three other songs pretty shortly, but like in one at a time because that's what they suggest you do, the waterfall release. And that would be an EP. And then at the same time, we're working on a full-length album with Chris Cody here in LA. So we'll see.
So you guys are known for your unique live performances. Is there something in particular that fans can expect from a Donzii live show, or does it change your set list every time you guys play?
The set list changes, the performance narrative. I'm also a performance artist, and I've been focusing more on the band, so I had to find a way to sneak that in. So I kind of combine my performance art with the band, and I usually have like a narrative. Sometimes I'll have performers to join me, like, and create these narrative scenes. Sometimes, just like a choreography, but sometimes more like an elaborate kind of like storytelling situation. Um, and sometimes I just take on a character. Like lately I've been the butler. And
Oh,
so I'll come out with a little like tray and like offer people food or a bell, and I'm like ringing the bell, putting on my gloves, checking things for dust. And yeah.
I'm excited when the EP is released. Will you guys be then heading out on a tour at all? Or are you guys working that out for the time being?
Working that out. We just oh, I guess not that just, but in March we did a tour with another LA musician, Ricky, and that was really fun. We went all over the US and a little bit of Canada, but in terms of like upcoming tours, we don't have anything like completely set.
All right. Well, are there some artists you would love to collaborate with musically in the future?
Definitely. Um, I'd love to do something. Gee, who would I like to collaborate with? I have some friends I'd like to collaborate with. Sextile, my pals. Um, Panther and Modern, one of their projects. Would love to collaborate with them. Walter, my cat. Uh, in terms of like a bigger band, man, I don't know. I'd like to collaborate with Doja Cat. I know it makes no sense,
No, but she's known for her performance art too.
but she's cool. Like I don't know. Like I believe it. I don't think it's like fake. Sometimes you see an artist and you're like, oh yeah, you're just putting on. But I think she's legit weird, and I like that. So I would really like to collaborate with Doja Cat. Um, in terms of like something that made a little bit more sense, I'll just throw one more in there. Geez, I don't know. Green Day. Doesn't really make sense either, but why not?
What would you like to say then to everyone who are fans and supporters of the incredible music that Donzi makes?
Um, I'd like to say thanks. Thanks for being here. It's uh it's a crazy world out there, and I think that making music is important. I think people need music. I think people need to get their mind off of things, and I think everyone has their job in this world, Not everybody does the same thing, and as long as you do it with your heart and you care, that's it. That's what's important.